All right, everybody. Welcome to No Time to Explain. Full cast again with our special guest and ambassador, Emma, is joining us today for today's topic.
Yay.
Scooter Baboon.
Hello, hello.
You're not going to say anything, Suchi?
Hi.
Well, that's better. You yelled last time, so I'm, keeping a volume down.
Progress.
Very good progress.
I like these questions.
Other questions we're going to look at?
No, of course he likes the question.
Of course he does.
They're real questions, though.
Yeah.
Anything
ending in a question mark is a real question.
Well, no, like, as far as the topic goes, these are serious things that people talk about.
Technically, if it's an open-ended question, you could end it in a period without a question mark.
All right, thanks for the grammar
Isn't
lesson.
that more rhetorical then?
Still a question.
Oh, my goodness.
Other
Anyway.
than the threesome one, the other two are legitimate questions, though.
All of them are legitimate questions.
Well, why?
Threesome's kinda it's a reach, though.
All of them are.
Today's topic is relationships.
That's a relationship for you.
No, not the topic of today. So,
Awkward silence.
Yeah,
I
thought you had it.
You gonna continue?
I had
You
nothing.
gonna shut us down not to talk?
She said, "Hey, cut it out." All right, let's begin. Cricket.
Today's topic is
I had
relationships,
nothing.
different phases of relationships, and transitions between those phases. I think today would make sense to start from the beginning of a relationship and not having a relationship. It's the beginning aspects of a relationship. So our
You are
single
not wrong.
members,
Member?
Members.
single members, being in transition, still single. How do you guys feel about your current status?
Being alone.
Well, no. I mean,
How
are
do you
you?
say not being with someone?
I mean, are you working on yourselves? Are you looking for a relationship? Are you looking just to enjoy the
What's
company
the
of
dating?
somebody?
What is dating like in 2020?
You made that feel like, as a therapist, it's like, how does that make you feel?
That's what this is about.
Yeah,
right?
that's what is dating in 2020?
Because
like?
being single is you're either really depressed or you're really independent. I got to know where you're at. I want to know where you at, bro.
And I haven't dated in 20 years. So
Half of your life.
you
More
heard me
than half
say
of your
You
life.
two don't count.
I like your face.
I like yours.
You two don't count in this at all.
Okay.
Period.
So
But
where's the well?
I'm
with the
just
bucket
here
in
to
it?
listen so I can talk to my other single friends and give them advice based off of what you guys say.
Yeah.
assholes. Anyway, well, being single in 2020, it's 2020. This year was quite trash. It's it's not a very dating friendly year, to be honest.
You saying it ain't popping on Zoom? Zoom dates?
Well, some people have had success with Zoom dates. I'm not one of those people that is going to put the effort into a Zoom date.
Wait,
Isn't
people
there-
are dating on Zoom?
Isn't there a dating app now that's actual virtual dates?
eHarmony is doing virtual dates.
I don't.
I thought I heard there was like a new one out.
I don't know if a new one, but I know I've seen the commercials for it where it's like, hey, we can have a video chat date. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't try no new dates I got to pay money for.
That's all dates, bro.
No, the apps. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you don't pay for the apps.
Dating apps?
Yeah.
You said date.
Because he said eHarmony. eHarmony you have to pay for.
It's half free, half not. Most dating apps have a free section into them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You gonna look into it? Right in there.
He's like,
Say that changes.
as I take,
Can
I
be
will
cheap
take
and
notes.
get pussy, boy. You better stop.
He's like, I will take notes. But to answer your question, he goes, I'm not depressed by any means. I take the time for me to work on myself a lot because I've discovered this year some of my triggers. And it's been very acknowledging to me, and it's been helpful to me so that way I don't inadvertently take them out on people, especially people that I potentially either want to be with or people I like being around. But also there's those couple times where you're just like, yeah, I could be dating somebody or I could be in a relationship with somebody. Like, as a single person, like, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think any single person is just like 100% happy being single, like 100% of the time.
I refuse to believe that because scientifically we're meant to mate with people.
Exactly.
I don't care what nobody says. Some part of them may like a person.
Like I say, you can love being single, and like I said, and I enjoy being single. There's a lot of bullshit that I don't deal with, but at the same time, it's just like some of it I would like to enjoy, just some of it. But like I said, I don't care how people sit there and say like, you know, I'm the most independent person. I don't need anybody else. No, you need nobody. No, you need somebody.
And it doesn't necessarily even have to be in the way some people think it is when you say you need somebody else. Like,
exactly.
it comes in levels. It's not just flat across the board.
Like you're dependent on another person.
Yeah, like you could be single, career oriented and everything, but you probably get some poom poom on the side. Like, you know?
Yes. I don't know, but I get what you're saying.
I was trying to digest how you were saying that. I'm just like, you know, is that? I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong, but it's.
My brain shut off at poom poom.
Yeah, I'm the same here.
Didn't know what to say.
Shout out to Prince. That's a song.
Is it really?
Boom, 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 boom. It's legitly a song. I was sending it to everybody. It is sang poom poom for like 4 or 5 minutes of the song. Yep. Do a hand. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
He's the greatest.
Yeah, he is the greatest, but.
Okay, so
yeah, but
so how do you feel about communicating? Because I see a lot of stuff like people complaining about ghosting or like, you know, like not communicating or like it's just like it's so hard because everything's technology based. Like it's not like you know like some people don't like pick up people like we did when we were younger, or not you guys, but like you know
don't discount us
in person. You know, in person, like you know I did most of my like dating by just talking to people at places where like my friends talk to people through apps. I never understood it. I'm like, why would you just not meet people in real life? I never understood the problem. Like, do you feel like it's harder to talk to people in person, even before 2020? Like,
no. It's way harder through the apps, and it's also I'm very big on not having my time wasted. So ghosting to me, like, I've had conversations.
That's what you do.
I don't do that. I don't do that. Like,
I mean, that's the direction it sounded like it was going.
No. I was going more so in the direction of like I've heard women say that they don't like to end a relationship, quote unquote, properly because they're scared of what the other person might do depending on the way that they ended it. Now, I don't understand it when it comes to online because this person don't know where you live. This person has basically no real information about you outside of what you've told them. So why are you wasting my time?
The real reason is, hey, in case I want to come back, I need to be able to still come back. So I'm just going to disappear for a little bit, but I'll be back.
My whole thing is if I send two messages and you don't reply, I'm gone.
Two in the same day?
It could be the same day. It could be 2 days apart, whatever. Like,
so 2 consecutive messages with no answer.
Response.
With no response, I'm done texting.
How long before how long they have to respond to a message?
That's the better question.
So are you saying you have 24 hours to respond to a message I send?
No, you can respond whenever you feel like responding, but you're not going to get another text message out of me after those 2 messages until you respond.
Oh, you're saying you don't like to repeat.
You don't like to text.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you send them the final warning? It says hi, and then the next message says hello. If I don't get a response, you're 24 hours.
Isn't his text signature? It's like, hey, do you want to go out this weekend? ... If you don't answer by 24 hours, fuck
you know
off.
what?
Hey, I forgot all about text signature.
He's halfway filling out the lemon law card as his waiter's like, all right, here's the name. All right, day 2, okay, here's the reason, and then on 3, here it is. Like we're through in this.
So okay, I have a question with the way money.
Why y'all being cute with this mic? Yeah, see?
No, they laughing because I don't talk into the mic all the time. Anyway,
no, it was how he did it. Because like I said, y'all the married couple here.
Your black girl neck could take over sometimes. Anyway. It's okay. Get it.
Cause I'm like doing like this. But anyway,
Did you polish your ring today?
no, it's just clean. Stop.
Stop. This topic got them all cute and shit.
I know, right?
That's him. I ain't
fucking-
doing nothing. I'm just trying to
Jeremy's glowing right now.
I'm just trying to ask him a question. So with the way kind of life is and with our age group, a lot of people either have kids or one, if not multiple baby fathers and things like that. So do you take that into consideration? Like, are you anti-stepdaddy or are you willing to be stepdaddy if it depending on how many kids, you know what I mean? Like, is there rules and stuff like that to that? Because realistically, women have kids nowadays. So when dating, you're going to be, what is so, That's a real question.
No, you are 100%. You're spot on. Sister.
I just like that you said women's had kids nowadays. Like it's a new thing.
But but I mean like more because of our
Divorce
age
came
and
out
stuff.
5 years ago, bro.
No, I'm saying that because of our age, so it's more than likely, and 30 plus, the girl she gonna have kids, if not more than one. So like, is that something you try to stay away from, or does it not bother you, or
Well, for me, it doesn't bother me, but there is that part of like resentment that I kind of have in the back of my head. It's just like, I would love that to be my child and not taking care of someone else's child. Like,
so do you have a child limit?
It's never gotten that bad, so
Okay.
I don't. I would love to say no, but I mean, I have dated somebody that was a mother, but it was only the one child.
Okay.
So it's not like it's like, oh, I have 3 kids. I'm like, I don't. I'm gonna be real with you.
3 kids, 3 baby daddies.
It's not happening.
You setting yourself up to get jumped.
It's not happening.
Well, that's the scary part about having like dating someone with kids, like because like when I was younger, I dated a girl with a child, and it wasn't the child that was the issue; it was a relationship with the boyfriend, and. What threw me off was we were eating at a Wendy's and she got a phone call and she was like, "Oh yeah, I accept the charges." And I'm like, I don't want to be around when that nigga come out. So
What is he in for?
doesn't matter. He's in there now.
And it could have been tax evasion. You never know.
Or murder.
They all go to the
Yeah,
same
that for
place.
assault with a deadly weapon.
I mean, I agree with what he said because I have also previously dated someone with a kid, and it was the relationship with the mother of the child got to the point where my windshield got smashed. And
I hate
like
ghetto women.
the daughter, the daughter loved me. I was in her life for 4 years, and the mom in the background would be
Jeez.
like, "Oh, she's white trash. You don't talk to her. You can't love her." Like, and it was just everything in the background. And then she'd come over and be like, "Emma," I'm like, "This poor baby. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know if I should hug her or what." Like,
Poor child.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
rough. So
Oh yeah, you a full-fledged mom. A little bit
4
then.
years,
it
man.
was
I haven't
stepmom for
had
4
to take
years.
that long. Haven't owed the
I
fish
mean,
that
well,
long.
in my defense, she wasn't allowed to see us because of me.
Oh.
So it was occasional stepmomming
Okay.
when we could court it.
Finagle.
Courts for it.
Finagle the court.
The word of the day, children, is finagle.
Finagle.
Can we please get a Pee Wee Herman?
That's next now.
We have to, since we're
that's
going to be doing magical words for the day.
Especially if we're potentially going to be doing keywords later in the future. Who knows?
That's
We need a
funny.
reading rainbow button.
Oh my God, no.
Butterflies in the sky.
Okay.
Between the lions.
But
Oh, that was a banger. Oh, sorry.
we're going back to that topic. It's just like, to finish the point I was making, just like, yeah, you can have a child and everything, but it's just like, it's one of those things. It's like, hey, I want to have my own family. And part of that is, there's that part of you that's just like, I want this to only be my family and just be all me and not someone else involved in that. That's just that part of me. Like, I'm be honest. That's just a part of me in the back corner of my mind. It's just like, yeah, this is what I would love. This is what I would want. I don't want to have to dealing with somebody else's another adult for a child that's not mine. Not to say it's against the child or I won't love the child the same way. It's just it's just that part of me that's just like, I want this to be all me. That's it. It's the selfish part of you.
Just base opinion.
I think it's what Brittany was saying. I think it's a little different now. Actually, a little better that people necessarily don't have kids until their 30s compared to back in the day when people were having kids at like 16, and then we're having whole families. So if something didn't work out, they're 21, 22 with like 4 or 5 kids. But as far as dating people with kids, it's not really my thing.
Okay.
It's happened.
Here's my question. Because you are now a father.
Uh-huh.
Are you still anti
Yes.
dating people with kids? So it's okay for you to have one, but she can't have one.
No,
Or
no.
you wouldn't date
I said
somebody
it's,
with one.
no. I said it's happened, and it's not necessarily my thing.
Right.
But from here forward, me dating someone with a kid again, it's probably not gonna happen. There's more layers to that, and I have my own layers already. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it.
Right.
How's that double standard gonna work?
Yeah,
for you,
that's
though?
what I'm
Because
saying.
I hear you in like saying that's how you feel about that, but you have to expect a woman to do the exact same to you now because
Yeah.
you are a father. So what if if we do a role reversal?
Me being single, I've run across women who have had kids, and didn't want to date other men who didn't have kids. Like,
I get it.
I spent a couple years in a strip club. Like, you learn a lot.
I get what you're saying.
No.
Not to that last part. I almost got him.
No. Pause, Torrance.
Okay,
You're
okay.
not going to address you spending a couple years working.
No,
Straps.
no.
Wait, were you a stripper?
I mean, he said he literally, that was your
No.
sentence. I spent a couple years.
I mean, I used the fake name as strippers do, but I mean,
Okay, so were you the bartender, the bouncer,
I
the
was-
stripper, the waiter?
I was
the stripper,
Bottle girl?
Like,
Yeah,
what were
this
you
is
doing
news to us.
for
The lap
a
dance
couple of
concierge?
years?
It was okay. Full disclosure, it started with a recommendation from someone at this table
Torrance, he pointed to this video's on.
ego is on here.
because I was looking for models to be in the music videos, and that was a quick place to find people.
Okay.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
Okay, it went from scary to predatory. That's
Please.
good. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Please continue your point, sir. I couldn't move forward until you addressed that. Okay, I'll let you.
Let me get it back. I understand what he's saying though, like, because I wouldn't call it a double standard because he's right. There's layers to his situation, so it's like I think it'd be equivalent because it's like when one person has a child, it's much easier to build a relationship around that situation outside of having another parent. When you both have kids, it's gonna be like twice as hard to build a
'Cause there are two
relationship
extra
over
people.
two extra people in your relationship because the stress is. Because I've been in, like, my family members have had really bad relationships with baby mothers and fathers, and I've seen it, deteriorate on both sides, you know what I mean, and make that stress kind of crosses over to your relationship. So if he can cut it in half and find someone without kids, I can see why he would prefer to do that, you know what I mean? Like, it's like someone, like, having a broken leg, and they have a friend that, like, push them through the wheelchair, and that person breaks their leg. Now, you're both just rolling around. Like, yeah, it's not inconvenient per se, but it'd be nice to have someone push you once in a while and not both be in a wheelchair.
Well, I guess my thing is that is it a preference or is it a hard no?
Right. Yeah, that
It
was
seemed like
was
to
my
me it was a
thing.
hard no. Like
That
never
sound
again.
like, yeah, she could be the best thing in the world, but you found out she got a 3-year-old son. And you like, well, sorry.
As of right now, it's a hard no.
Okay.
Like there's a lot involved.
No, I mean I get it.
I get it.
I don't get it.
Yeah, that part's understood.
Yeah, if I had a kid and something horrible happened, we didn't make it, then yeah, I'd probably be in the same boat. Like, I'm not gonna, I feel him.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes absolute sense.
And plus, you have to take into consideration for the health of the child and everything too. So I mean, you're right. It's layered. It's not a simple
No,
one
I
and
don't
done.
think it's simple, yeah.
That's a complicated issue.
Absolutely your preference.
Because then if you break up, there's two kids now who have to go through that disconnect. Now, you know what I mean?
And even with the whole dating situation, like me having my son, like when, if I ever do start dating again or whatever, like it's not going to be a consistent thing about dating because, I've been in that situation as a kid, so I don't want someone in and out of my son's life. So it's not even necessary. It's not like I'm just focusing on like, women with children. Like, nah, honestly, at this point right now, it's like across the board for pretty much anyone trying to get personally into my life. It's like, you stay over there.
Well, yeah, you got to be in a place first that, you have to be in a stable place mentally and everything else first before you get involved and have somebody else into
Ooh, that chin.
into your
That chin.
into your life. Sorry. So I get it. I get it.
Would you date someone again with a child if we didn't work out? Emma?
Put her on the spot.
I'm scarred. I mean, it depends the situation. It all comes down to the relationship of the family. If it's a ugly situation in the background, absolutely not.
Be like, okay, wait, is your baby mama, is she like married in her own life? Do she
Is that
like,
bitch crazy or are we good?
I need to
do
run
she got
I need
charges?
to
Do you
run a
have a
full background
restraining order on her?
What's going on?
How do you start the conversation though?
Straight. Hey,
That's a
hey,
better
That's a,
we're,
that's a,
we're all
Early.
we're
Man.
all 30 or all about to be 30. If you can't have a straightforward conversation like that, there's a problem.
Age means nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
Please remove that out of your mind
Have
right now.
you ever seen
happier.
any of the housewives of anything? Those women are like 40, 50 years old, and
with
they
grown
act,
children? And their child.
and they act crazy. So age is legitimately the only good Aaliyah song. Age is nothing but a number, cause baby.
I mean, my preference, I would prefer not to date a man with a child for like Brendan's selfish reasons. Like, I want to be the first.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, I want to start our family.
Right.
But it's not end all be all.
Right.
I was agreeing. I just
Because there's a trio of
No, he
agreement.
just blocked it. He's like, absolutely not.
got something to tell you.
Okay,
You got
so
one we don't know about?
since you guys, because how long have y'all been dating? How long has this been now?
4
4
years.
years. So, what?
4 summers, like Jay-Z would say.
17, 18, 19.
4 summers, baby.
I just,
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I needed it.
4 summers.
I remember. I was trying to think of when we went to Miami, because I remember you being like, oh, Emma can come, and we
What was
went
the
to
first time I
Miami.
told y'all?
Huh?
We were dating before that. I just
Well,
didn't
no,
tell
I'm
y'all.
saying I was thinking back to then, because that's
Wait,
what I
tell me
remember.
the story. What happened?
Oh,
We didn't know
were-
about you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, because he
I
was
was
trying to get me to fly down there the next day. Like, oh, you should just come since
Yeah.
you got off work.
Yeah, now the best kept secret.
Yeah, he was
What?
like, "Oh, she can come. She'll fly. She can." He was like, "I mean, if you
You want to bring her?
want to."
I think you, Torrance, you're in a room by yourself anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? I was in a room by myself. And I tried to fly you. I could have been not a room by myself. Yeah, Torrance.
She could have been there. We would have never knew about it.
That's not where I was going with that. But yeah, that's true.
No, even in general,
Yeah,
in general, like
yeah.
moments where we were just like chilling and doing nothing.
Yeah.
She could have just been
true.
there. And we would have never
This is
known.
absolutely true.
That's true.
Miami was great.
Sad face.
But so my question was, how long were you guys talking before it became official? Like, what's the time period for, what is the talking stage? What is that even like now?
Ugly.
The look on your
This
face.
is all research because
Yeah, I know nothing, and I have
Well,
single friends that ask
social
me
media
stuff.
seems depressing, boy.
Man,
That-
I don't.
no.
And I'm like, ugh.
Nah, it's
Well-
depressing and misleading.
We were dating in the age of like MySpace, and that was just a different time. Yeah, that was just a different time.
Yeah.
I was like middle school.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like nowadays you kind of talk until you come to a crossroads and you have to make a decision. Where like, you're talking, you're like not fully together, and then, an argument happens or an issue happens and you have that conversation like, okay, like you're pissing me off. If you're pissing me off and we're together, we can solve this. You're pissing me off and we're not together, leave me the fuck alone. Like that's
Sounds about what happened to us.
You know what?
Now I don't think that's the case for everybody. but
I think so.
I
don't
100%
think-
agree
I
with
don't-
think
I
when
don't
it
think-
comes to the immaturity of dating nowadays, it comes to that.
I 100% agree with that, Ego, because one of my relationships started just like that.
Yeah.
Like, we
all
were
the time.
talking and talking and talking, and like, we were attracted to each other and everything like that. But it wasn't until we had a fight.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
I remember when we were dating. Ancient times.
Wait, say it one more time. How'd it go?
When we were dating in ancient times.
Middle school dating.
It was high school.
It's courting.
It was courting.
Oh.
We're old school.
Going to the sock hop.
People are dropping them off to go to dates.
Right. Nobody had a license.
That is
yet.
old school.
But no, it wasn't even like that. It was just kind of like he said it like, yeah, my girlfriend. And it was just like, oh, okay, we're together now, you know. And it was a couple
Sounds
of
about
months.
high school.
Yeah. And it was a couple of months. And so like, that's the reference I have. So when people are talking to me about dating, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
And that's still kind
I
of
was claimed.
No, it's legitly.
that's still kind of how it is though. Like girls still want to be claimed. Like we
Right.
came to our crossroads because I wasn't claimed.
Okay.
I mean, well, that's my mind says I'm stingy and selfish. Hey, are you mine? Like, I need confirmation with this, and that's how it was. Like I can imagine, shouldn't that be the same now? Because
No, you think the problem is it's like with technology, it's so easy to just go away. So like if you're both like, you know, vibing and then one of them asks that question and the other person's not feeling
It
it,
just vanished.
it's really easy to disappear. So like, you know,
Just no response.
yeah, so people just
That's
wait it
what
out,
goes
wait it out until like, okay, look, I need to know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But how soon would be too soon for that type of question? Like, how long are you willing to be in the talking stage with a person before it becomes official?
No longer than 3 months.
Okay.
your contract.
That's a good amount of time.
That's not bad.
No, but I'm saying, okay, in my head, and this is one of the things I'm not saying this for you, that I constantly see on social media is that single people have such hard deadlines and hard expectations, and they stay single for a long time because like the qualifications are so strict. There's no flexibility with it.
Your standards are really, really high, and then you have
My standards are low. I'm not saying by 3 months we have to.
My standards are.
I'm sorry, bro. He said I needed somebody, anybody.
Nah, not even. Nah, I'm not like 3 months. I'm not saying we have to be together, but I need to know where this
it's
is
headed.
going.
Okay.
Like,
Oh, they said 3 months, as in like at least 3 months. I said not before 3 months.
oh no,
Like, don't even bring the shit up.
no, I
Three
like
months.
we can continue to talk, but I need to know where this is going. Like, if you don't know where this is going and it's been 3 months, you're wasting my
You
time.
may need to write out a contract, bro, because you're very particular with, you're like, hey, no, child, I just need you to fill out this application. This is the deadline. We'll start
But you
today.
know what though? When you don't have those things, you be like, you know, you're like me, and then like I had this girl ask me 6 months after like 6 months of talking. She asked we were sitting there, and she just said, you know what, fuck it, what are we? I'm like, oh, nothing. And then, and then she kicked me out of the dorm room.
Oh wow.
that was it.
That was it. That
Oh,
was
wow.
So, you know, in her mind, you know, I was booing the phone with
Because
hearts and emojis and shit.
She understands what the value of time is.
Yeah.
Like,
No, she didn't, because you waited 6
It's
months.
6 months, yeah, nah.
hey, she was in
Well,
college.
no, she probably was just waiting for you to say something, and when you didn't,
And in the back of her head, she knew. She was like, you know what, he's it, and he acts that way too, and you just weren't.
Yeah, because I do have a problem. I do give girls girlfriend privileges when they're not my girlfriend. I'm just nice like that. You know,
Yeah.
cooking, taking them out, shit like that. But it's like, cool, I'll see you in a week. I did go date with somebody else.
well,
this
and that's another thing I've noticed with people, especially with women. Women are really quick to be a wife, not even girlfriend, but like a wife to somebody, and that's not even theirs to be claiming, because they think so much of that role in doing for a person and everything. Whereas a lot of the times men don't think nothing of the stuff that they do, of those gestures, because it's not that big of a deal to them, but it's a big deal to the woman. And so you are already off to a really bad start with communication, because she's interpreting your gestures as this grand thing, whereas you're like, okay, whatever, you know, this is just buddy, or I got 30 minutes to kill, whatever, I'll sit here with you. And on the other side of that, you have women that's like, oh my gosh, he's doing this, he's doing that. And they think that they're special because of these things, because that's what they're taught. You know, if a guy does this, that means something in X, Y, Z. And so there's already this miscommunication before anything even starts.
Well, the bar for single dudes are so low. They're so mean. Like, these dudes are so, and I just never got it. Like, I would never kick anybody out after we slept together. I would never not like hang out with them. I would never be mean to them. And like, I hear some of my buddies and like, oh, I kick her out after sex. I'm like, why the fuck? Why are you sending her home? Like, you sleep and then you have more sex. Like, what is your math, bro? Where's your head at, nigga?
Not even that. Like, I guess it's me being the older of so many siblings. Like, I don't care. I've had absolute madness in my room after sleeping with someone, and I still didn't kick them out.
Whoa, wait,
Because-
hold on.
Your word
Wait,
choice.
no, Wait, you got to define madness. Like, did she catch on fire? Did you guys fist fight?
You know, I
Did
mean,
she
my
shit on your
definition,
bed?
the level of madness is Soul Eater, Keishan Matt. And I mean, what? That's what the last time I've heard madness, or the Mad Hatter. Like, and that was syphilis. Like, you got to explain.
We went out. Okay.
Mercury poisoning, nigga, not
All right.
syphilis.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I got you. I got you.
Psychosis.
I got you. Went to dinner, right? Came back to my place.
Hey, in my defense, syphilis does cause psychosis.
Yeah, Hitler. You're right, but still, the Mad Hatter.
Madness.
No wonder he couldn't sit still.
Went out.
Great button, Brendan. Great button.
I hit the wrong button. Oh, that's great.
Okay.
That works. Okay.
Please continue, Suchi. I'm sorry.
Went, like I said, went out to eat. Came back to my place. Watched the movie. Fooled around a little bit. Went to sleep. Right? Went to sleep. Both of us are cool, and I'm going to bed because I got to work in the morning. About an hour passes. She's drunk, fell in the toilet, threw up on my floor. I literally had her call who she was with to come pick her up because I couldn't deal with the shit. Like, I wasn't going to kick her out because I wouldn't kick a woman out in the middle of the night regardless of how nice the neighborhood is because anything can happen. Like, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to one of my sisters.
Was she sober when you went to bed?
Yes.
So you went to bed sober and she woke up fucked up.
Yes. I kid you not.
Somebody drugged her, bro. That was
a late effect.
Yeah,
That's
was a
crazy.
late. That's wild.
That's crazy.
How'd you sleep to her getting drunk?
I went to sleep and she drank by herself for the next like 2.5, 3
Sat in
hours.
the dark drinking.
Yes.
That's
So,
some,
bro,
that's some
so
old
that's
school.
just bad luck, man. That's not.
That's some
terrible.
Ronald Isley, Marvin Gaye, old school sitting there like, I'm so tired.
That is terrible.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
That's some old school like type dark drinking while the other person's sleeping in the
Just
bed.
staring at you. Bro, you lucky she didn't stab you, nigga. That's usually how that goes.
Yeah.
This yuck mouth, light skin ass nigga.
And then I couldn't go back to sleep because
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't.
Peace is gone.
You got paranormal activity, bro.
Sitting there rocking.
a boyfriend at the time was coming to pick her up.
Whoa. Okay.
Damn,
All right.
son, where'd you find this?
Okay.
All right.
I'm lost. How? Okay. What were we talking about?
You used to going over this madness story with this woman.
Oh, okay.
How
This is
I
mad.
wouldn't kick out a woman regardless of how crazy it is in
You-
the middle of the night.
You get that trophy, bro.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand how people would do that.
Yeah,
Like,
because you absolutely did not. I understand that. You
So
win.
you allowed this woman's man to come pick her up from your house that you just fucked her, and you.
from my
I don't
understanding,
know.
they
I
had
don't
that
know.
type of
You
relationship.
looked her in the eye. You looked him in the eye when she picked him up.
Oh, nah.
You shake his hand when he opened the door.
She
You
went outside.
you
He was in the
monster.
car.
All right.
I understand how you feel though, because like you know what though, speaking about cheating and that guy's question. No, it's serious because I've been the side person before on accident, and
So you've been used too.
I've been used to.
Okay.
And I found out, and this is probably not having that conversation because having that conversation with her, I would have found out she had a boyfriend. The reason we had the conversation is because I told her I was sleeping with someone else, and she's like, "You can't do that. I'd rather you not." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, because of my situation, I think you should be the person I'm sleeping with because my boyfriend's in Arizona." And I'm like,
Oh.
and this is like 4 months in. I'm like, "You're what?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend. He's in Arizona. He's doing this and this, and he's trying out for Olympics, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Time out. He was trying out for the Olympics in Arizona.
He's a
and,
sprinter, yeah.
and she just. This is what you call bad life choices. But go ahead.
I'm the bad life choice.
No, I'm just
Not you.
That's kind of messed up.
That's kind of messed up, ain't it?
no, not you per se.
That nigga
but-
didn't make it though. I hope she's not listening to this. But yeah, so she said that, and I'm like, oh well, you know, if you have a boyfriend, then it should be okay what I do. She's like, no. She's like, I think we should be exclusive. I'm like, but I don't get the math. She's like, I still need to be physical with somebody, but you know, when he comes back to Chicago, we can stop. I'm just like, you know what? That's fine. We can do whatever you need to do. I just lied, obviously. Still sleeping with other people, but I'm like, okay, we can do what I need to do. And I remember when he came into town, and how he found out was I signed him up to my gym. Not I signed him to the gym. I trained him at my gym just before I was a membership. But I trained him, and I was telling him about the girl, and then he was like, "Oh, I know her," and I was like, "Oh, cool. I can't train you, bro." And so I stopped training him, and she told me that that shit happened, and they broke up, but now I just saw on social media, because I follow him still. Me and him are cool. That they're married. So back to that guy's question: does cheating make your relationship, weaker or stronger? And it made her buckle down and get her shit together, and now they're happy. Are they ever met after?
That's a loaded question because
that's a case to case.
I was going to say it's very situational.
Because you can break that question around and just make it general. It says, do bad times make a relationship stronger? It's based on the people.
Yeah.
I mean that's all that is. It's not cheating per se, because if you target it to cheating, it's like, well, you know what, this relationship's going good. Maybe we need to really test our relationship, sprinkle a little cheating in here. But I think
a little infidelity.
Yeah, just a little infidelity, just really test it and see if it's true.
The show Temptation Island.
Let's apply to Temptation Island.
Yeah,
I had buddies on that show.
Yeah.
My good friend went on that show, and he told me before. I'm like, that's a tough idea, bro. that's a terrible idea. And he's like, if we're good, we should come out fine. I'm like, why?
That's
Russian roulette.
Yeah, I was ready to say. Yeah.
Like for nothing, because I don't believe in like soulmates. I think like soul partners. There's people you click with that you're gonna be like, obviously you guys click with. You guys are perfect for each other. But at the same time, though, you're not the only two for each other. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there's somewhere on this giant planet where you guys.
No. Here's the thing, and to just pick off that is that the reason why I'm able to, attempt and to try not to cheat is because I don't put myself.
No. I'm not saying you would cheat on her. I'm saying like if you guys never met.
I mean I could.
No, I'm saying you could. But I'm saying if you guys never met, you could also find a separate partner where you'd be just as happy with.
Well, no,
in some sense of fashion.
I'm going
off
your point is that even if those people are perfect, going to temptation, I will probably break. It's like.
Yeah, because them motherfuckers are attractive. They find some really attractive people on that show, and they lock you in there, and they give you booze, and they give you like drugs, and like
they give you drugs on TV.
Yeah.
They don't tell the producers.
They're not on TV.
Not on TV, but they give you stuff.
Oh, never mind. That's off subject. But it's this TV show, and it's kind of like the behind the scenes on how they do on how they do television shows like that, and like the producers are cutthroat on them shows. Like they finagle a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I think
to make stuff happen.
I think I saw a couple episodes with you back in the day.
Mm-hmm. It was called Unreal.
Mm-hmm. Was it like they were filming the directors that were filming the show? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
They told this one girl was crying. She was like, "If you don't," the producer told her, said, "If you don't stop crying, I'll cut you out the whole fucking season." And the girl was like, she was like, "Yeah." She was, because she was like emotionally connected to the dude, and he picked a different girl or some shit, and she's like refused to do her like little like face thing, like when she talks about it, she refused to do it. So it was like an hour and a half, like past what time she's supposed to do. She's like, "Look, if you either do it, I'm just gonna edit you out the whole season." Like,
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy.
That's aggressive. But like going to the point is that because what I always think about is that I think Kev on stage maybe said something one time, and it made the most sense. He says, "I don't cheat because I don't put myself in situations to cheat." It's like I don't know any man or woman that's out here that is past the temptations of men or women. So you get to a situation where even with this, like, if me and Brittany, I don't go there and sit there like, all right, baby, time to go to the strip club for 10 hours a night, and you know what, I'm gonna remain faithful. I may break eventually, but I avoid those areas. So like when people like, just going back to the question, is people like testing their relationship through like, is cheating does cheating make it stronger? It could, but I don't think anybody should sit there and
you could do it, but the thing is, and the whole strip club thing, the thing is, if it were to happen, you would have to go in there with a certain mindset, which is the truth. They ain't interested in you, how much money you got in your pocket, and the food is actually really good.
All right, back to what you were saying, Jeremy.
Okay, so all right. Yeah, so just going about don't put yourselves in situations where you may break and cheat. Not the
So
Okay.
I feel like some people would, and I agree with you, but I'm playing devil advocate.
Mhm.
I can see people going like, well, maybe you don't love her enough, regardless of putting yourself in a situation. What do you say to those people?
I don't love her enough to put myself.
No, I'm saying you're saying you don't love her enough, no matter what the situation, not to cheat.
Oh, well, that's why you got to add multiple layers, because I love her enough, but also my faith says that is the most horrible abomination. You'll be cursed. So I have 2 layers now. Love, being cursed by a super powerful being. So if you
If you like cheat during marriage? If you cheat during marriage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, you add multiple layers on why is this important. But, for those that may not have a faith, just love is enough. I don't know. I think a little fear is important as well, because just being real, like, love will only get you so far. But, if you plan on marrying somebody for 50, 60, 70, 80 plus years, based on what you do, where you're at, temptation is going to be surrounded around you a lot.
Like fear is a necessity, and people who say that you aren't supposed to fear anything, you're supposed to be fearless.
Lies.
It never clicked to me like why people say that.
That's stupid.
Fear is a motivator. You're supposed to be afraid of certain
And
things.
in my head, if I love Brittany and I would never want to do anything to hurt her, so that's already 10 toes down right there. Now, just another layer of security, fear as well. So it's just really secured there. So to make sure I'm not putting myself in a situation there. So if devil's advocate, those people will say, well, you don't love her enough. You know what? You go through different feelings with somebody as you age with them. So me and Brittany, we have probably re-met each other and redated each other probably like 10, 15 times where we grew together. So at one point, we were on 2 different levels. At another point, we have to figure out each other's likes and dislikes again over and over again. So it's a continuous path that we have to do.
So going to that then, and when you hit a low, like a low, what are some of the things that kept you from falling out of your relationship? Especially pre-marriage, because marriage is a little bit easier to stay into. It's a little bit of a big commitment. But like the pre-marriage days, when you hit lows or dark spots.
Yeah, so pre-marriage, me and Brittany, we was like a heart monitor.
Just to repeat the question for Brittany. During low spots in your relationship, or lows, or like dark periods, what kept you from bottoming out of your relationship?
Pre-marriage.
Pre-marriage.
Pre-marriage?
Yeah.
I know for me, I think it was just knowing that the goal was for us to be together and to stay together. And so, sorry, you guys.
No, it's okay.
Okay. I know that the goal was we ultimately didn't see us not being together as an option. It's like, okay. Because at that point, you think, okay, we got married, 5 years ago? So we had been together by then 10 years had already. So, and so, by the time, in that time span, the mindset was we're getting married. We're going to be together. That is our plan. And we didn't see it no other way. There was no, well, that's it. I think, and even in the times where it has gotten to the point of being like, well, you know what? You can do your thing. I'm going to do mine. We can go our separate ways. It was still kind of like we going to fix this. We going to make this work, because we already had the mindset of being together. There just wasn't any, we didn't see it any other way. And I think now a lot of people, in my opinion, I don't know if people just don't feel that strongly about each other, as far as saying like, you know what, I love you and I want to be with you no matter what. And it's not so much of just allowing a person to get away with hurting you or doing you wrong. It's a matter of because everybody has their limits. Everybody has the things that they, are kind of like, okay, I can't keep letting this happen. I can't keep letting you do this. But at the same time, it's like, okay, is this something that can get better? Because it's one thing if a situation happens and then it never happens again. It used to happen. Then it's kind of like, okay, maybe we do need to take a step back, figure some things out. Fortunately for us, we never had a situation that was repeating. You know, like it was something that would happen, it would be addressed, and then dead. That's it. You know, we never really had to go through the same thing twice, and so it's easy for us to kind of be able to be like, okay, you know what, I messed up, I did wrong, I did XYZ, but I know that I will not allow this situation to happen again. And from there, it's a great deal of trust to be able to say, okay, I believe you. I'm going to trust you on this. Let's not let this happen again. And just is fortunately enough for us, we, you know, never really had to revisit the same situation more than once. And so it makes it easy for us to be able to be like, you know what, we can do this. We can keep going. We can move past this. This isn't bigger than us, because we really believe in us, and we believe in, you know, in what we have, and we want that to last.
Sidebar: is that the reason why you blew up his phone all those years ago and got me in this relationship?
Well, no, I'm crazy.
Well,
so
clearly, you know.
So when he doesn't answer the phone, I instantly panic, and so I will call until he answers.
Yes, yeah.
I will call his phone dead.
Just so you guys know, so because I've lived with for Jeremy and Brittany for years. There was one summer break where she I don't remember where she went. I think she was out of town or Milwaukee, whatever she was. And Jeremy and I had different sleep schedules. Or St. Louis. All right. So I would be up and Jeremy would be asleep, and Brittany would blow his phone up, and that ringtone will forever be stuck and engraved in my brain.
You to know.
Whole thing is beautiful. Fucking Common.
Common.
It is seared in my brain to the end of time, and I will never forget getting to the point where I literally just had to go in there. It's like, he is asleep.
This to this day,
but that's your wife now, so
craziness has not.
It doesn't go away.
I remember one time you guys were FaceTiming and you fell asleep. She told me to kick you to wake you up. Like, I was walking past to go to my room. She's like, hey, do the fucking FaceTime. And she's like, wake him up. I just kicked you and went back to my room. If you're up, you're up. I didn't want to be part of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, craziness.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. So, I mean, pretty much just, I guess piggybacking is that, you know, is it worth it when we're at the lows? I was kind of chiming into what she was saying. And I think when people get to the lows, is it worth it? You know, is it worth it to continue? Can we move past it? And if you can't, the relationship is dead. If you can, it depends on what you value the most from it.
Okay.
Sorry, we have children.
So obviously it worked out. They got kids.
3 of them.
Yeah, we're stuck together now.
Well, they're both here. They're both here and they have kids. Because
Yes.
they can have kids and we have one of them. And then, you know, the other one's watching through the windows. What is... Oh, man, I thought I had a question. I thought I did. Oh, when it's time to, like... I guess it'd be more for the single people. When you do get into a relationship, when are you gonna put out expectations? Like when do you have that conversation? Like, what do you expect from the relationship? So you started it, you're together, things are moving along. You feel like it's gonna be a long-term thing. When do you set expectations?
You should
I
know.
love that question.
You should know the expectations before you get in the relationship.
No. No, not at all. Like, you can.
Because you know what happens with that?
Wait.
No,
When
no.
you say expectations, by what expectations do you mean?
So
Because you can have expectations and expectations not be met and still be happy, but because your expectations could be flimsy or no big word, imaginative.
You did your best.
I did.
You try.
Like, they could not exist. Like, you could have unrealistic expectations.
Well, that's what.
And what I'm saying as far as expectations and seeing what expectations you guys are talking about is like.
Then let me finish. I was gonna explain that.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about, and you haven't said
Well,
it yet.
okay, Ego, give your definition of what expectations you're looking for.
Expectations would be like, you know, what roles, like gender roles, or how much, you know, like expected intimacy between the two of you, free time, communication, access, as far as like phones, computers, living situations, like things like that. Not like, oh, I want you to be rich and I want you to be pretty and I want you to, not like the expectations to start a relationship, like your roles in said relationship once you get into it.
Like I think of something before. I would say we're exclusive. That should be before y'all get into a relationship. I mean, I agree with that point, but
Yeah, that should be step one.
Going off of Torrance's, a lot of stuff, and I don't know, and you guys can pick it off, or anybody else has been in a relationship. Me and Brittany, we had to find out our expectations as we were together in the moment of what we liked and disliked, and kind of mold around that.
I think that's the better way of doing it, because at least for me, like I'm the person that wants to talk things out and figure things out as we go. Like the only expectation I would say I would have outside of the exclusivity part of it is just general communication. Like I feel like that kind of should be, if you're talking to somebody for a certain period of time and then it evolves into an actual relationship, like your talking should either be where it is or grows at that point.
Okay.
So to that, like that'll be, I would say, for me, my basic number one expectation outside of that is just like our communication, or at least the amount of communication we have, should be at this point or better than what it is now.
Okay, so the simplest way for me to put it would be there are expectations before and there are expectations afterwards. The ones before should be more so like, what are we going to achieve? Because people, you share ideas. And then the ones afterwards are, how are we going to achieve this?
Yeah, we're talking about the after.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you should know what each one of you wants before you get into a relationship. And then after you get into the relationship, then that's when then that's when roles should come into play on like, how are we going to achieve these expectations that we're trying to reach?
You're just re-explaining everything I just said.
Because your expectations change, though. So you're saying know what you want. Well, what if you get into it and you're like, okay, this person actually just changed my whole perspective on a whole lot of things.
I mean, in the same sense, like, let's say the plan before you guys get together is you guys want to have this, and you guys are both going to have jobs and to achieve this. But the part of how to achieve what you want doesn't come until afterwards. You can still have the expectation, but if your expectation changes, then it just changes. But from the one that you had beforehand.
I think you're stuck on the big stuff. I'm talking about like the day-to-day expectations.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want good communication, you should know that you want good communication with your partner before you get in a relationship. Now, how are you going to achieve the communication that is needed? You probably won't figure that out until after you're together.
Well, let me use this as an example, because this kind of plays into one of my past relationships. So, I dated somebody who had the expectation of whoever she was going to be exclusive with. In her mind, she was like, I want to be married by this age. I want to have kids by this age. I want this, and this. And I heard her out, and I told her, I said, well, that's not my intent at this point in time, because we were just starting, like we were just recently became exclusive. So I'm like, to be married in 2 years and kids in 3, and I'm like, I'm 19. That doesn't seem very realistic to me personally.
Ooh. Hey, when I met Torrance, that was the year I wanted to have a kid. I mean, obviously that was not the reality.
The year you met me is the year you wanted to have a kid?
Yeah, I wanted to. Well, no, it would have been the year after. I wanted a kid, in my mind, in my young 20s, I said, like, 27 is a good age. Now I'm 30. I'm like, 35 is a good age.
Like I say, your expectations change.
Exactly.
So, but also, it was one of those things where I guess there were some other expectations, which is one of the reasons why that relationship didn't really work out. Like, when it comes to communication, like, I'm the person that'll sit there and tell you what I'm doing and what's going on. So there'll be moments, because we were all still in school and everything, and between having a random day class, maybe a random night class, I'm like, hey, I have class until 9. I'll call you as soon as I finish eating, around 10 o'clock or whatever it is. Because I always spoke to her pretty much every day. We text throughout the day. I talked to her sometimes in the afternoon if I was available, but I always spoke to her, pretty much talked until she fell asleep. That's just always something I did. So we did that previous to us being exclusive. So in my mind, I'm just like, well, this is not going to change. So like, why would I stop talking to you before we go to sleep? Like we haven't done that thousands of times already. And we get to the point where it's like, hey, I'm doing something. I'll call you back, or I'm eating. I'll call you as soon as I'm done eating. And then she would literally like get upset or blow up the phone to the point where it's just like, why aren't you talking to me? I'm just like, I'm eating. I literally said, give me 20 minutes and I will call you as soon as I'm done eating, because I don't want to talk to you while I'm eating this giant burger, whatever the hell I'm eating at the time.
So she expected more time once things were official.
Or I don't even know. I would say yes, but in a very weird way, because and this just could be my deficiency in how my brain functions. You know, I'm straight telling you, give me 20 minutes, I'm eating. I'll call you right back. Or I'll call you as soon as I'm done eating. We're doing the same thing that I would usually do. But then when you kind of go off and have a moment where I do what I always do. I explain to you, I'm telling you what's going on. But then you just have this random flip of a switch or this outrageous expectation of what's going to happen or what happens next. And then eventually it assumes into a thing is like, oh, do you want to be with me? Or are you happy with me? And all that other stuff. I'm like, well.
Seems normal.
Seems normal. Okay, maybe for you.
The reason I say that is that I'm trying to see how to be politically correct with this.
People are fickle.
Yes, and Brendan, you were using logic, which is nothing wrong with you using logic.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
But I'm just gonna stay right there. I'm just gonna leave it right there. You were using logic, and
Yeah.
Male brain.
Yeah.
I didn't say it. I didn't bring gender into this. Jeremy didn't.
I'll say it, but
Work from the left side? That's the side, right?
Well,
Or is it the right?
I was gonna kind of playing off you guys talking about like expectations and stuff like that. Me and Jeremy's relationship, I feel like it's so different from everybody else's because we dated so young, so we grew together, and and so like you didn't have us being like I don't know how to say this. It wasn't like we were just two separate people that got together and kind of like, made sacrifices and stuff like that. We literally grew together, and so we kind of adapted to each other. So I'm legitimately the way I am because of him, and he's the way he is because of me. We had to be able to mold together for our relationship to work because we were two completely different people even back then. And so we had to learn how to be, to bend more and be more flexible and to kind of like change and mold ourselves according to the other person so that we would get along and just work better together. And so I guess my question is like, how does that work being 30 and having so many people with the mindset, I am who I am, I'm not changing. But in order to really be in a relationship with somebody, you're going to have to change somewhat. You know what I mean? And so many people feel like, nope, I'd rather just find somebody who's going to accept all of me without having to change anything about myself. How does that work?
They want a yes person.
You sure you don't want to go? Cause I want to answer.
He said,
wrong.
"I don't want to be wrong."
I don't want to be wrong.
This is the true test. I mean, you can step out. She'll listen to the podcast.
You're in my camera. When you meet at, I was in a very transitional spot at 26 when we met, or 25 when I met Emma.
Young man.
So
Youngster.
so
I'm a cougar.
I went into our relationship with a different mentality than I have been with any other relationship I've been in before. Where like I hinted at before, but me and Jeremy had a long conversation about how I should go into this relationship because of my faults before, being very cold before, not communicative, not expressive. And so I think early on in our relationship, I did it too much. I was too expressive, and I was too like quick to be like, you were pissing me off, or I think that's stupid, or like I used, and for her, like for me, words don't sting as much as it does for her. And like I've said things to her before, and like I don't blink an eye, and then 4 weeks later I say it again, and then she blows up because like, oh, this is your second time saying that. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like it doesn't register for me. So for me, I had to adjust communication, and then adjust my ability to shut off. You know, when I get upset or angry, because I have such anger issues, instead of being upset or angry, I just turn off. I'm quiet. I don't talk. I don't show any emotions. I don't do any of those things. And she is the exact opposite. She is the yellers.
Drives me crazy. I can't stand the silent treatment. I swear to God, it ain't got nothing to do with me, and I'm getting the silent treatment.
Yeah, she's definitely a vocal person.
I see a cat and a rock like, existing, and the cat is just like flying around. The rock is just like.
That's literally what it is.
Why aren't you expressing feelings?
What it is.
Just pawing at the rock and it's not moving.
And like, you know, and she had to understand that I don't not care, you know, I don't not love her, you know. I just don't want to deal with you right now. And like there's times we had a very big blow up where she, you know, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know, it was late, but it was raining really hard and she wanted to leave. And she goes, you're not fucking talking to me anyway. I'm going to drive home. I'm like, sit your ass down. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Just because I hate you doesn't mean that we don't have to cuddle and go to bed. Like, I still love you. I just don't want to talk to you. We can be together while being alone. You know what I mean? Like, people can't do that all the time. So that was an adjustment on my part. And still something I'm working on, actually, 4 years later. And then for us, another issue for us is time. We've always been very busy, lifestyle-wise, you know, and training, when I was training a lot, or even when I switched to sales especially, I was working 50 hours a week, and then for a year I was a bouncer for 15 hours a week on top of that, and then training. Both of us are bodybuilders, and even before we were bodybuilding, we were still working out for an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. So, like, the amount of time we saw each other was, like, because when I was training, I leave the house at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we'd get home at midnight. You know what I mean? Like, our time together was very limited. So for me, you know, I had to really focus on making sure, like, we put time aside to be with each other. And, like, now we're working through that again, you know, me, like, having a lot less time, her being super busy now, you know, trying to figure out a sweet spot for us to, you know, because by the time she's done working, I'm out being sociable or I'm not, you know, not around. And we just got to find a sweet spot of, like, you know, when's a good time to spend time together. So, you know, like you said, it's a constant change. It's constant adapting based on lifestyle and what you're looking for, you know. You want to add anything to that?
That's correct, Emma.
You did a good job.
Okay.
I wasn't sure where he was going with this at first.
She was worried.
She took that taxi ride.
I mean, as far as like the adapting thing, like he said, when we first met, we were both in very different places. I was in my free streak after a 4 or 5 year relationship. And he was in the, you know, mindset, he just said trying to like settle down or like find a way to like, you know, be touchy-feely and close, you know, right away. And so like while we spent a lot of time together, like I'd fall asleep while you guys video gamed and no one knew I was there. Apparently. I'd literally be asleep while y'all talking on the game. But like
That's trust. I
wanted the title because I needed the attention that I didn't get before. And when I didn't get it fast enough, that's when we fell apart. And it took us a long time to get that back. But like you guys said, we chose each other through the constant bullshit. Our first year was rough. It was ugly.
I bet.
It was my fault, and I look back at it, and lack of communication on my part was a problem, and it burnt me really for the first time in my life, and unfortunately, it burnt me with someone I really cared about, you know. So like it was I think it was me like getting past my ego, ego don't break. Getting past my ego to fix the problems I made, you know what I mean, and being like I was wrong, like, and then.
You're
Lashing
not the
out.
only one that fucked up, so it's a two-way street.
I don't gotta put you on blast.
Y'all so cute.
Oh. That should have been a button.
Should have been.
But yeah,
Shattering.
and then like back to like saying like I think now we're figuring out our love languages, where like
I was gonna ask.
I'm
that.
very hyper intimate and physical, where hers is like acts of service, and like for me, like I got to get out of the habit of, if my love language isn't being like spoken, to not do hers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back into like
That goes both ways.
to my like my anxiety stuff, and my like kind of like going into like lows of like being just unmotivated and heavy. And like to not slip into that and not let that affect her, and doing my best to kind of meet her in the middle.
And that's the thing about bringing two adults together that are very different in a lot of aspects. Like, you need to think about, why is your love language that way? Mine's acts of service because I never had that. I basically raised a man, like looking back at it. So it's like, his comes back to his anxiety and depression issues. I've never had to deal with that before. When he has anxiety attack, I don't recognize it half the time because he shuts down. He's quiet. So I don't know. Okay, did he have a bad day at work? What's happening? Like, no, he's like freaking out inside, and I would never know. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
I think it's great that you guys recognize these things and are willing to, communicate and work through that, because you see a lot of relationships fail because they come up, at an impasse, and instead of choosing each other, they choose themselves. And that's what a lot of people do when they're in a relationship. It's like, yeah, I'm with you, but I'm about me first. And that's, the relationship is bound to fail that way, Relationships and love is so scary because you're putting so much faith into another person. You are trusting this person that they're going to treat you right, treat you the way you want to be treated, that, they're going to do for you what you do for them, but you really have no control over whether or not they actually do it.
It's complete risk.
It's the risk is so high, so high, but you trust the process, and you hope that, the reward is going to be a lot greater. And a lot of times it is, as long as you guys, continue to have that communication. People in general, if you have that communication, can, be able to just go through things and have that trust, because that's the biggest factor, trusting each other and not relying on yourself and just trusting in yourself when you're supposed to be in it with another person.
I'm glad you brought that up. Side note, I love your shirt. You got the daddy on it. Yeah. Love it.
My daddy.
R.I.P. Daddy. Me and Jeremy, I posted something the other day from Breakfast Club, the Nikki Giovanni interview.
Yes.
And people who don't know her, she's a poet and activist.
Beautiful.
Fantastic woman. But she said something one time in an interview back in the late 60s. And it was asking her spouse to lie to her. And the way she framed it was, she said, if you're going to work every day and your coworkers and your friends and all these other people get the fake you, they get the happy you, they get the non-stressed out version of yourself, they get the pleasant version of you all day long, and you come home to me and I get the wear and tear of that. I get the angry you, I get the stressed out you, I get the sad you, and that's all I get from our relationship. I want you to lie to me. I want the positive part too. I want the happy part. I want the fulfilled person as well. So like,
that's deep.
Do you agree with that? because I have an opinion, but I'll let you guys, because you guys have been together a lot longer than us. So you.
I automatically on that post is that it's profound, but I don't agree with it in contextual sense, because I do agree that it's called code switching. African Americans and know about it, but other races can know about it as well. It's like when you go to work, you put on your voice, you put on your happiness, and you go about like everything's okay, even when it's not. So when you get home, if you're giving the person just all the negative stuff, lying to them is not going to fix the issue, because a lot of times, and I'm starting to talk about this recently and dealing with some things, is that a lot of times as people, we want to treat the symptoms and not actually what's causing the issue. So person coming home, being all happy and lying to the person and becoming their, happy self and showing them the good self, those are all just these symptoms. What is the real issue? If they've been worn down and beaten down,
why are you that way?
That needs to be addressed. So instead of just lying, let's talk about what I don't want the fake stuff. Because even with Brittany, I would never come home and give her the fake stuff.
Fake it.
But I'll let her know, like, hey, you know what, today was rough. Today was rough, so let's.
I feel like in the faking it, you're building up resentment, because now it's like I can't feel my feelings. If I have to be in public and be fake, and then I have to come home to you and be fake, when do I get to feel how I feel? So I think it's important, like he was saying, we talk about that. Why do you feel the need to be fake? Why aren't you happy? What is the problem? Am I the problem? Did something happen? Because let's make it real. Let's not lie about it. Let's make it so that you don't need to lie, that you genuinely feel this way.
Hood quote: putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound ain't gonna fix it.
Yeah, you're just covering it. Because in my definition, your home is supposed to be your peace. So if you can't come home and find peace, why? Mm-hmm. What is the issue? Like the faking can also throw the other person off, because in Nika Giovanni's thing, he comes home, he's faking it. She may not know there's an issue. So now he's suffering in silence, faking at work, faking at his friends, faking at home.
And that issue is still there.
So I love her, but I disagree with it.
I feel like that's probably part of the reason why the divorce rate is so high right now with the whole COVID thing. Like, people aren't going to work to fake. So
they're trapped to be with each other.
Yeah,
they won't talk about the issue.
Yeah, the people during this year have been forced to really understand themselves or learn themselves, negative and positively. I think, something came out like domestic violence was increased.
Mm-hmm.
Went through it
suicide rate, divorce rate, domestic violence.
It's like you're forcing these people and these couples and these relationships to
spend time
with each other and deal with this.
Deal with issues that normally is easy to just leave and avoid.
COVID is making people be human.
What was your thing?
I do agree with it, but only if you are discussing what's bothering you. That's the only caveat to that, because I can come home and tell her how awful my day was, but I do think I should switch gears and be better, in a better mood, at least with her, or just a spouse in general. Like, someone should come home to their spouse, and because I don't know what her day is. If she's having a super pleasant day at work and a super pleasant experience, outside of the home, and come home and it's constantly me bringing her down, what damage does that put on her? Because it's a difference between being a support system, or you're a rock, and then being a shag rug and taking the beating.
Faking it, or are you intentionally with it?
Well, it's. I think she said lie because it's a powerful word, but I think it is adjusting. You have to adjust your mood and adjust, because I've had trouble with that. Having to adjust the way I act because how I feel.
I kind of get it, because even the other day, me and Jeremy were talking, and he was just saying like how, he leaves the house at 5 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't get home till 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and when he gets home, he's tired. He doesn't want to do nothing. But we have kids, and they need attention. So what does he do? Play with the kids. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I can understand in that aspect of not really being in that space, but still doing what you need to do for another person to, to make sure that they're not receiving just a negative side of you. You know, we don't want our kids to only see daddy like,
Stressed out and
or tired or don't want to do nothing. Oh, daddy doesn't want to play with me, or whatever. So I can understand that, but I don't think I guess in a way it's kind of faking it because you don't feel like it, So I understand the wordplay with that, but it's still very much genuine because these are his kids. Of course he wants to play with his kids. And stuff.
And then in a non-kid standpoint, it'd be like, for me, love language is intimate, so sex is important. Or cuddling, touching, all that shit's important. But like, if I'm coming home stressed out all the time, that's not going to make her want to do those things with me. You know what I mean? If my expectations are very high physically, but I'm always on a low,
on an emotional low,
like, then it's the resentment on my part that she's not doing what I need her to do because of the way I'm acting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, at what point do I have to flip the switch? To find a middle ground.
I've heard this more so from older couples, and I feel like this might play
you're
into
a beatboxing boy.
I feel like this might play into it, but a guy I work with, in so many words, this is what he said. A person, or in his words, a man wears many hats. The issue comes when you don't give him the time to switch those hats. So instead of going straight from work to home and then carrying over whatever you weren't trying to express at work or whatever you weren't trying to express at home and vice versa, there's supposed to be a moment in time where you have time to switch your hat, whether it be going to work and then being a father at home.
Is that why I see all the businessmen in the business district get drunk after work?
Yes.
It gotta
And
be.
then go home?
It gotta be.
All right, I got it.
I wish moms could do that.
What's that
I
place
wish I
downtown?
could be like, I want to take off
There's
my mom
a bar
hat.
in downtown Chicago called Sirius, and it's popping every happy hour, but Friday night in particular. Now, anyone could go there, but it's right in the heart of the business district, and it's cracking. So when you go in there, there's all men in suits.
Oh,
They-
yeah.
And
Literally.
Sirius gives you, this is how they give you the drinks. So let's say you order like a Jack and Coke. You order just something like simple. You get a cup of Jack and then a Coke can on the side. So you sip and you sip for like $8.
It's cheap.
So they get fucked up, take the train back to the suburbs, and go home to their wives.
Well, they close it. They close
and
at 7.
I don't know how many faithful either, but
They close at 7 or 8.
yeah,
Like-
they close, like it's only happy hour. It's like 4 to 7.
It's 4 to 7 and it's done.
Yeah.
But
That's
like
crazy.
I've been
It's
there a
the
couple
best drinks
times.
ever made for
my
on a
God.
budget.
I didn't know. My buddy's like, oh, you gonna get fucked up, blah blah blah. And I took the drink thinking it was just like the drink, and I took a hard swig, boy. Blew my nose out. My sinuses are all fucked up. I'm like, she's like, wait for your Sprite, darling. I'm like, what the fuck you put in the?
Even my grandfather did it when he used to work. Like he didn't drink, but he had his little period in time where he would do something like before he came to, come take care of us or do whatever he had to do around the house. He'd go pick his vegetables in his garden. Like it was his
Some
time to
transition.
switch. Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, and I get that, man. I guess
The
it's
male privilege of that.
and I think just going to the point is that, like, I get the adjusting and moving and molding. I just, her statement of lying is me. I don't, that,
Like lying is a
yeah.
facade. That
Ly-
means you don't want
The
to
word,
do it.
the word
Yeah.
is very aggressive.
Yeah, her wording,
is.
her wording
The
of the
wording
statement
was
was very
aggressive.
because
aggressive.
changing that word changes what she says.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
adjusting,
Well,
sacrificing.
I also tamed the rest of that statement. It's very heavy. Like the black man goes to work and works for the honkies, and you
Yeah.
dance
Oh,
for these
yeah.
honkies. Like, it was a very
Yeah.
aggressive statement.
there was more to that.
Yeah, it was way more. The whole thing across the board is very hard. We'll post it on the Instagram, but it's a very hard statement across the board. So
It was also the time. It was the time to be
Oh, yeah,
aggressive.
late
So
60s.
I understand.
I ain't gonna lie. COVID gave me the reason to have my transition period. I come home, I take off all my uniform clothes, I wash my hands, and then by the time I get back to the living room, that's 45 minutes have passed.
45 minutes to take
45
off your
minutes,
clothes
what?
and wash your hands.
Hey,
Jesus, how
do
much are you wearing?
Do you? Never mind.
One layer at a time.
maybe a half hour.
One sack, wash his
Well,
hands. One sack,
right.
wash his hands. Pants,
Them hands
wash
are
his hands.
Oh shit, my
Clean.
feet stink. Let me go wash my hands again. Ah, damn, I'm musty. Let me wash my hands again.
That's why your hands feel like sandpaper.
They're dry now. They're dry now.
them out.
She like, get the fuck out the bathroom with this baby, nigga.
The water bill is
It's from
astronomical.
It's through the roof.
Ridiculous. But no, I was gonna say, I really hope people, I really hope people understand the amount of time it takes to achieve those social media looking relationships, those perfect looking relationships. Like, I have known Jeremy since I was 14. We have been together since I was 14. This relationship is 15 years in the making. And so when people want to look at us and be like, oh, you know, I want what you have. And, oh, you know, y'all relationship is so perfect. Oh, he's so this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, be careful what you ask for, because you don't know what we went through to get what you see.
But not even every relationship that you see on social media is
like that.
Even that perfect. Like, social media gives you the control
Well,
to do
no,
so
and
much.
I understand that.
People
but
thought certain relationships was good till the red table came out.
Well, no,
I never thought that.
Yeah, no.
But no, I'm just saying, like, you know, people are really quick. I used to get so frustrated with how amazed people was with Jeremy. And my first man was always like, y'all didn't know him 10 years ago. I don't know who y'all think he is, but he ain't that.
I knew him 10
And
years
so
ago.
it was just like, you know, I think people just have to understand, like, I'm not saying what we have isn't attainable, but it's work. It's a lot of work.
I applaud you.
A lot of
I don't
work.
think Emma would have took young 18, 20-year-old Torrin.
Oh no.
Not at all.
I
boy.
can't even handle you now.
Emma, if
That's
you
why
knew
it drives me crazy. And everyone's like, Torrance is so sweet. He's so nice. I'm like,
no.
girl, please.
Man.
if you knew Torrance back while we was freshmen and sophomore in college,
Oh, Jeremy is so funny. He's so sweet. You're so lucky. And it's like,
Well, you know.
really?
The transition
You
from Claude to
think?
Jeremy.
Well, you know.
Like,
You
yeah,
know.
people don't know Claude. Like, I had to deal with that.
Perfect.
I had to train that.
No issues over here.
Man.
well, for the exception of you, Brick, this is gonna be a side joke. We can sit there and say that type of relationship is like bodybuilding. Like, people want to have that look and be that strong immediately,
Yeah.
but it's like
I'll
no.
buy it. I'll buy it.
What can
promise you.
I take? What can I buy?
Mexican
Get there?
steroids.
Three taps on the
Man.
right.
It's like,
I've asked you.
I need me a Jeremy. And it's like, well, baby, you better be real specific about which version of him you need, because to get this one, it was.
I was already perfect.
And don't get me wrong, like,
Insert
we
bone
package.
both. I think we
Insert Bone
both.
Thugs Harmony.
We both were very much a mess and complete opposites of each other.
Not me.
Stop. Y'all, let me tell y'all. I remember one time my feelings was so hurt, y'all. And I'm crying and I'm hurt. And this man, in the coldest tone ever, was like, I mean, what you crying for? Like, you prayed about it, right? Get over it. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. Done.
Waste of tears.
His
Hurtful.
words.
Hurtful.
His words. And mind you, I'm sensitive, super sensitive. And so now I'm just like, well, dang, I can't feel my feelings. I
Well,
can't.
let's go back to the issue of I had an issue with having emotion.
You still had an issue, just not with me.
And the things that we've even spoken about today still transcend over to other types of relationships with people, not just intimate ones.
No, yeah, definitely, because I'm a firm believer that you treat all relationships are like friendships and everything. These are relationships, and you have to treat them as such, you know. And people, I don't think a lot of people look at it that way, but once you do, it helps you a lot with knowing how to deal with your friends.
I don't agree with that.
Mm.
Because
You're my best friend.
No. I'm saying
okay.
I'm saying that I don't treat all my relationships like that, or like with the same intentions, like, or I even put them in the same category. Because like for me, there's a disconnect with I can disconnect everything: relationships, friendships, sexual partners. You know what I mean? Like, I can be physical with someone, not bat an eye, and have absolutely zero emotions for them. You know what I mean?
So
And then I can have a friend. I can have a friend that, you know, I really, really care about, but like they cross me to a point where it's, you know, or any, like, really any type of serious crossing, I can cut them out and be fine. But like relationships, they like I always give the person I'm dating a second. Like I give them, they get an extra chance that other relationships would never get, even family. I think I put relationships sometimes over blood sometimes because blood is just circumstantial. It just happened to be, and people can cross you from blood that they don't get that second chance because they cross you. So for me, it's very compartmentalized. I don't feel it's the same across the board.
So okay. So I understand and I get what you're saying. So you have many different levels, but what we're saying is, in order to have a healthy mutual relationship with another person, it's treated in the same aspect of how you would treat a relationship. Because you can have an associate, you can have family, you can have relationships. A relationship can end because somebody did something stupid. Like it could end very quick. Stupid. Like call somebody stupid.
But
the whole thing that we're trying to say though is in order to have a healthy one, because I understand you as far as like you saying family is circumstantial, because you can have family members that you blood family.
That's what I'm saying. Like because there's families and then there's blood families.
Even with blood families, like you can have people in your own family that you pay more attention to than another person because Uncle such and such is touchy. Like,
no, cause it's and kind of going on point is that even when you compartmentalize, one of the things about relationships is that at a good, healthy relationship, all share. Eventually, they should share fundamental things, because even though you can separate individuals and give other people another chance, that's just how you choose to do it. But even with our family here, is that if we didn't have the same communication, you need communication at a certain point that you have communication with Emma. The same way you'll have to have communication with us. Now, either one of those, if you stop that communication, either one of those relationships can fail when it comes to spending time.
But those are priority relationships. Friendships, like I feel like you can have a healthy friendship with someone, but like it can be built on a baseline.
See,
lie.
This is something that me and him talk about all the time.
Or like you could just like be just because I've had friends for 10 years that know really nothing about me. It's purely superficial.
I don't call them friends.
They're associates.
Those are associates. Those aren't friends.
People throw friend, brother, and people throw friend and family around too frequently.
It's too loose of a word.
I mean, because I can joke and play and hang around people, and a lot of people, I've gotten into it with a lot of people, and I've heard a lot of people because they were like, well, Jeremy, I thought you were a friend. And I'm like, well, you don't know anything about me.
Like,
even in the Bible, and I always, one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is that the Messiah says one thing: "Who is my mother and who is my brother?" And he's like, "Those that keep my commands." So pretty much, he said it that I don't care what's your title, I don't care, but if we're not on the same point, you know nothing about me, there's nothing normal we can do. So I kind of see it where if a person don't know, and that's just if a person only superficially knows you, they shouldn't be even considered a friend.
Like, I don't know how much you want to speak on it, but being a part of a group would place you higher than an associate, or even maybe higher than a friend.
What type of group?
Just any group,
like a friend, like
a clique.
Like a bandmate. You would look at somebody that's not just a random friend. That's not just a random associate, because in order to actually be in a group and be a well-functioning group, you have to know the other person.
I disagree with that.
That's not true.
I highly disagree with that.
I've been on thousands of flag football teams.
Hello,
none
sir.
of these niggas.
Vanity?
Or because that's what I was asking. When you talking about group, are you talking about the friend group like we have a friend group, or are you talking about just
like a group of people,
part of something like a
club?
Like a
I'm not,
sport
and
or
that's what I'm saying.
band
I'm not
or-
necessarily saying friendship. Like
help me out.
three people in here have been a part of a part of a band, right?
No, four.
So you've been in band as
Choirs.
well. Choirs. Okay, so
Are you playing
would you put?
I was in choir and orchestra.
Okay. So
Pretty much
the people. Would you place an associate and a bandmate on the same level?
Yes.
Yes.
I do it all the time.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
Oh dang, drumline is different.
I've done
Yes.
it. I have done
Yes.
it to about 90% of people I've been in a band orchestra with.
Yes, you're horn number
Well,
4.
even with Vanity, as many girls as it was, there were still 3 or 4 cliques within the group, and as a collective, you know,
crazy, though. That don't
no, we're not going. That's another podcast, you know, friendship. But in the whole, you know, we all was together and we got along. When we went out, we looked out for each other. But when you broke that group down, you have these people over here, these people over here, and these people over here.
So that's why, I really think that people, you know, use friend a lot, you know, and they use friend a lot and use sister a lot, brother, and that's just me personally.
I thought my college roommates was gonna be my best friends till the end.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, well, even growing up, like, so me and my high school buddies, I mean, we were bone tight, close together, and you know, I still have relationships with them, but it's hard for me to call them friends, and that could be on my part because I don't reach out to them, I talk about them. Is a lot. I don't even know what's going on in their lives.
This goes a part of what we were saying.
So
in order to
if I-
have healthy stuff, there has to be communication.
So if I can say, if somebody like, hey, Jeremy, is that your friend, blah blah blah. For me to call them a friend, I'll be kind of fronting because I know nothing about them. I know nothing about their life. I know nothing. They have aged over 10, 15 years.
I get that. It's a responsibility because being associated with someone, you know what I mean? Like you say, that's your friend, and then they act stupid when you bring them around. It reflects on you as a person. Like when people, you know, fuck up your couch or your wall or
jumping on a couch.
Getting drunk.
Oh,
that reflects poorly on you.
That was my friend for a very long time.
Yeah, but and as we know, the dynamics can change. You know, but that goes back to just what saying with any type of relationship has to be treated with the same core fundamentals.
I'm sorry, Brittany.
Was something said about hang time?
No, don't worry about it. Don't.
We got
All right, well,
let's wrap it up.
this was a great episode of.
No, okay. But yeah, you know, when it comes to relationships, even friendships, you know, brothers, sisters, things like that, they all have to be treated with the same. They're all treated with the same core fundamentals if you want a healthy working one. You know, I think that transition, a lot of us, I feel like us at this table, for the most part, probably are just now starting to feel like adults because of our college life and because we lived on campus and we were all together. Like just that, those 5, 6 years or whatever of life really keeps you in a young place. And during that time period, friendship was seeing each other all the time, spending time together and just being together. And it was very simple, and that was it. There was no work, no real work had to be done until we left that space. And our lives moved on and we got jobs and had kids and different relationships like that.
Especially when you had kids.
Especially having kids.
Joe was born. Oof.
Created OnlyFans.
Man. And so that's when the real work comes into play.
Wait, we were tested before we left when you were pregnant, because every time we left the house and on our way back, we got that text. Hey, you passing a Speedway? You passing this and this? Can you grab me a pickle? You grab me this, some Takis. I mean, I was so scared to answer my phone, bro. I went broke. I spent about $100 a month on pickles when Brittany was pregnant, boy.
Yeah.
And then I come in, big bag of pickles and Takis. Brittany already bought her shit. Stocking up, bro.
Yeah, I would send a text out so that everybody would bring it, hopefully, and then it would last me for like the week.
Courtney bringing her Panera, Zach bringing her stuff from the vending machine.
I was spoiled,
Oh
y'all.
my God,
So spoiled.
She was finessing us
I
all.
milked it.
Everybody.
Finagled my way with that pregnancy.
There that word go again.
That pregnancy was the best
And
one.
I had to pay for the baby. It was crazy.
You made it so far.
Jordan's about $2,000.
So oh yeah, it took 3 years to pay that off. But okay, wrapping this up. Our single fellas, do you have any advice or things people should know or anything like that?
I think you it went out When you,
I was saying, I'm sorry, yeah, I was children. Do you guys have any like advice or things you should know, or little something for the people our single people out there to go home with?
organic milk tastes great. Tastes great with Raisin Bran.
Okay.
That's why you're single.
I'm not even gonna press that
We're
button.
not gonna even. Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead, B.
I would say definitely learn about yourself, learn about your flaws, and don't hold those things going into a relationship. Don't clench those things as if you hold them dear, because the second you do that is going to turn you off from other people.
Check you out.
Okay. I'm going to say something serious now. Then. Okay. Before you get into a relationship, as Brendan said, learning yourself, 2 things that you must need are patience and sensibility.
Can you explain the sensibility part, please?
Emma, you're a school teacher. You know what that word means?
Not in this context. I'm not sure.
I mean, you're smart. You're more educated.
Like, are you talking about like compassion? You mean, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna translate it for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma.
Do you have those yet?
Huh?
Do you have either one of those yet?
Nope.
Okay, cool. All right, so you're looking for those right now.
I'm still working through the patience.
Please. Okay, I got something and this was my thing even before you said that I'm just gonna leave off. When a person is working on themselves, they must actually do something. I cannot stand when people say I'm working on myself and they absolutely have no plan or strategy.
It's like, yeah, I'm working out. I did a push up today.
well, no, they don't even do that. They say I'm working on myself,
At
and
the
then
time,
just
they don't
existing.
even know what they need to work in.
Yes. I cannot stand like, I'm working on myself. Well, what are you doing? They have nothing.
Are
for
you
me.
bettering your career? Are you
That
trying
was-
to get some therapy? Like, what are you working on?
That was the other
I'm
thing.
laughing that she took the mic from you. You were still talking.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm done. All right.
That was the other thing. Trust.
Okay, from our couple here.
Go for it, babe.
Ladies first.
Based off our conversation, going into a relationship, just be open-minded. Know who you are, know where you want to go, but also know that in a year from now, you're not going to be that person anymore or think the same thing. So what I wanted 4 years ago is a whole lot different than what I want now. So
I think it's important to understand that there will be lulls and lows in any successful relationship, and being prepared to cross those bridges and like really communicating whether or not that it's worth it in the long term, and figuring out if this is what you want to be or where you want to be with this person. So figuring things out, communicating, and setting expectations continuously throughout your relationship.
you want to be with me?
What you got, Brittany?
Wait, go ahead. You want to say? I was going to say.
Bring us home, Britt.
So I guess, and this is kind of universal, whether you're just talking or if you're dating or if you're married, don't go to bed mad. Please, you guys, it's probably the worst thing you can do is to carry over yesterday's problem into the next day. Even if there isn't even if it's not like a full-on conversation, at least address it and then set a date to talk about it, to keep that communication flowing. Because once you block communication on one thing, you're going to start blocking it on everything else, and it just cascades into a whole mess. So, try to always deal with the issue when the issue happens, if you can, or at least attempt to, so that, you're not prolonging a bad situation. And also always make time for each other. But more importantly, make sure you
wrap that up, B.
Use protection.
Get him.
More importantly, make time for yourself.
See? She's still working on him. That was Claude.
Well, this has been No Time to Explain, episode
Fizzor.
4,
Fizzor.
episode 4 about relationships.
Oh, shizzle my nizzle.
Anything we want to talk about? They plug before we're done.
Nah, I think that
That's
things that
no
handles it.
plugs. All right, don't forget Black Friday sale, Sparkle Bitch suits. Look out for that. Also, if you're looking for personal training, strength conditioning, reach out to Ego, the Humble Bragger, certified strength coach, sexy maker.
Since everybody else is promoting something, I might drop a new song Thanksgiving weekend.
Really?
Might.
Really?
Might.
Can we get like 6 bars?
No.
Wow.
What
He was
kind of
honest.
fucking
He
rapper?
was honest.
All right.
I love that. Can we get bar? Can we get a sim? No.
Anyway, it's no time to explain, guys. See you until next week. Peace.